Hi everybody, I'm Landon of Landon Licks Celebrities, and this is Genevieve, otherwise known as GiGi of GiGi Eats Celebrities. Together, celebrities don't invite us to parties anymore.
Who have you licked recently?
I don't want a divorce, so I won't say.
Good answer.
Chris Pratt. Genevieve is under the impression that everybody just knows about nutrition labels. We're going to have Genevieve break down a food label for you of several things that I went out and got at the grocery store. Genevieve has no idea what I got, but we're going to see what she knows. First things first, a loaf of bread. So, your first thoughts when you see 12 grain bread. That's great, right? Because it's 12 grains, whole grains. People need grains in bread.
It does not specify whole grain, so you can't just assume that this is whole grain bread.
I blew it.
You didn't necessarily blow it because we haven't quite gotten to the ingredients label yet. I'm very proud of you for not getting any high fructose corn syrup laced bread though.
So what's so great? Yay. What's so great about whole grain as opposed to 12 grain?
Whole grain that actually has the entire fiber of the grain. With just regular grain, everything is stripped away from it, all the vitamins and minerals.
So when you're going to buy bread, you want to buy a bread that says whole grain?
Yes, and you want to actually make sure that the first ingredient on said label says whole grains.
What's the first ingredient here?
Enriched flour. Back in the day, actually, they used a lot of just white flour and people had nutritional deficiencies.
Oh.
And the FDA realized this and they were like, you have to put the minerals and vitamins back in. That being said, they put the vitamins and minerals back in, but you still don't have the fiber that comes along with the whole grain bread.
So let's just break down his label. Calories from fat, 10. What does that mean?
Fat is actually very important for you. Now, there are certain types of fat that are better than others.
How much fat do you want in a day? How many grams?
It depends on your activity level. It depends on if you're male or female. It depends on you specifically. That is why I hate diet books, actually.
Do guys need more fat or do girls need more fat?
Guys need more calories in the day because they have faster metabolisms, thus they need to eat more.
Get them rumps, boys. Get that fat. You know the best way to make 8 pounds of fat look good?
How?
Put a nipple on it.
Hot.
There. Okay, cholesterol, no megagrams.
No megagrams?
No.
Those are milligrams. A lot of people are terrified of cholesterol. However, I do have to say that eating cholesterol will not give you high cholesterol. What will give you high cholesterol is eating trans fatty acids.
Oh goodness. Sodium, 220 megagrams, and it's 9% of a daily value. What does the daily value mean?
The daily value is made up and determined by the FDA. It's a rough estimate of what we should be getting in the day.
And how do you feel about the FDA?
That is not this video. That being said, this 9% means that it's 9% of the amount of sodium you should get in a day, which is 2,300 milligrams. Now, what I like to tell people when they come to me for advice is, do not buy packaged foods like this. Instead, add salt to your food.
So what Genevieve is saying is get regular bleached white flour and then add salt to it.
No, I'm not.
No, she's not. I misinterpreted. Carbohydrates are like pasta.
Yes, and bread.
So there's 20 grams of pasta in here, basically.
No. There's just 20 grams of carbohydrates.
And you need carbohydrates, everyone, guys and girls.
Everyone needs carbohydrates. That being said, there are different types of carbohydrates that are more important than others and healthier than others.
There's sugar in this bread.
Yes, there is.
Do you think if we put this in a barrel along with some yeast, we could make alcohol bread? Proteins, 4 grams of proteins. How can there be protein in bread?
Everything has protein in it. A vegetable has protein in it. Broccoli has like a gram of protein in it per cup.
So if I go out and eat a whole bunch of carrots, I can get strong?
No, because there's different types of proteins. You need the 9 essential amino acids, which is found in complete proteins like animal sources.
Way over my head and boring. Am I right? Okay,
I'm never gonna be able to teach him anything.
Okay, there's no vitamin A. Are you pissed?
No, because you can eat it in other things.
Okay, great. No vitamin C. Are you pissed?
I'm not pissed.
4% of calcium. Good for bread?
I mean, sure.
Great.
But that's not really the source of calcium you'd want to consume.
Okay, you want milk.
No.
That's how I get my calcium.
I know. If you're gonna do milk, you're gonna do grass-fed, grass-finished. You know that. That's what I buy for you.
Or a lactating mother. She said I could drink breast milk, which is also very good for you. Riboflavin.
B vitamin.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great for you. B vitamins are good for energy.
Niacin, is that good?
Yeah, that's B vitamin
Great.
as well.
Well, there's 8% of it.
Whoopee!
Foliate.
Folate, yeah, that's good for you as well. That's another B vitamin.
Okay, how about that?
The first ingredient on the ingredient label is what is contained in this the most.
Okay, so the most thing in here is wheat flour, malted barley flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamide, mononitrate. Now, mononitrate is bad, like nitrates. From what I know from eating hot dogs, you want hot dogs with no nitrates. So there's some hot dogs in this bread.
Yes, exactly. There are hot dogs in this bread. Well, right off the bat, that's not great.
Okay.
That is the typical formula that is added to all bread that is just enriched flour.
And what should the first ingredient on any bread be?
Whole grain insert. Whole grain
Hot
barley. Whole grain hot dogs, yes, exactly. If they're whole grain, by all means, eat them.
Well, apparently there's 4% of hot dog in here. So we're gonna move on. That's what you need to know about bread.
Wait, what did you learn?
I learned that just because something says grain on it doesn't mean it's whole. Don't be a dum-dum like I was and fall for 12 of the grains if there's not even a single whole one in there. Now, if it said 1 whole grain and 11 asshole grains, I'd be like, well, at least there's one. Okay, now we're gonna move on. I found a Powerade Zero.
Now, the only problem people have with this is that there's something called sucralose in it, and some people are not okay with that. That's not sugar.
Oh, okay.
It's a sugar substitute. That being said, there have been studies just like aspartame where people are like, oh, it's really bad for you, it's just like sugar, blah, blah, blah.
But what do they know, assholes?
But there are not enough studies that have been done to determine whether or not it is good or not for you. I won't lie, I drink this, and it's delicious.
So if I add vodka to this and drank it all, you'd be super mad at me.
Yeah, because I want it.
There's no fat, obviously.
Obviously.
Makes sense. But there's sodium.
Yes.
So why do you want salt in a sports drink?
When you work out, you lose a lot of sodium from your body, and you need the sodium-potassium balance, or else you'll pass out.
So you're saying if I bring a salt shaker and just start chugging salt in the gym, I'll be strong as a bull? There's some potassium, otherwise known as potassium in this, 35 megagrams. But only 1% of the daily
milligrams.
But only 1% of the daily value.
I know, so you either want to drink 1 billion of these bottles or you want to get your potassium from other things like sweet potatoes and bananas.
I know the word electrolyte. What's an electrolyte?
It is the sodium and potassium.
Okay, cool. So there's niacin in this one, so there's some bread in here.
Are there hot dogs in there too?
It doesn't look like there's any nitrates, so that's good. So the first ingredient is what?
Citric acid.
No,
water.
I taught her how to read once.
Did you?
It didn't stick. Less than 1% of citric acid, salt, and monopotassium. Is there anything on here that you see that you're like, oh no, don't? Red 40, that can't be good, right?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of studies that have been done that say that dyes that are added to these drinks can cause some behavioral, I can't say the word, behavioral, is that the word? How do you say it? Behavior?
No, just keep trying.
I can't say it! Behavioral. Yeah, that.
Come on,
Anyways,
say it.
I can't.
Say it. No, say it, come on.
Behavioral.
Nope. Nope.
How do you say it again?
Behavioral.
Behavioral.
Nope.
Then why are you saying
Because I know how to say the word.
Okay, difficulties. It causes ADHD in children. That is what people have linked.
Guys, we're gonna pause. We'll be right back, and I'm going to teach Genevieve how to say this.
Say it one more time. It's been 14 hours. Behavioral.
Behavioral.
No, goddamn it.
She can't say it. She's a mess. Now we're going to go to a protein. Blackened chicken breast, which is great. No artificial preservatives or flavors. That's what you want. No nitrates. So there is no hot dogs in this blackened chicken breast from Oscar Mayer that I have to eat before August 1st. So then when we flip it over, we all know now from what you said, we know what fat is, we know what saturated fat, we know trans fat. Good. Hardly any of those.
We never talked about saturated fat.
Okay, go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, saturated fat actually is not as bad as people think. Trans fatty acids are the absolute worst.
Even I know that, and I'm stupid.
So if you have some sort of heart issue, do not take my word for anything because I don't know your condition.
Unless she is your doctor, and then listen to everything she says. Sodium, there's a lot of sodium.
Yeah.
23% in one serving, which is only 2 ounces.
Well, that's typical with deli meats because it's sort of
brined?
Yeah.
Sugars, no grams. Protein, 8 grams.
The interesting thing about this is there is actually sugar in it.
So listen to this. The very first ingredient is chicken breast.
Whoopee! It's
So that's
not
great, right?
Pigs.
Dickhead. Water, cultured dextrose. That's sugar, right?
He Yeah, that's sugar.
Cultured dextrose. So it's sophisticated sugar.
Yes.
It's traveled the world.
It went to school. No.
Unlike you. Say it.
Cultured dextrose.
No.
Thank you.
No. Say the other
know how to
word.
say those things.
Say the other word.
I don't even remember what you're talking about. I'm on to cultured dextrose. He went to Turkey, he went to Afghanistan, he went all over the place.
So what is cultured
It's
sugar?
basically a binding ingredient stabilizer.
Less than 2% of modified cornstarch, sugar, salt, vinegar, cultured celery juice. These are all the things that flavor it, right?
Yeah.
Cherry powder, yeah, lemon solids.
Cherry powder? That's weird.
Caramel color, that's weird.
Do you see the caramel color?
I do, it's gorgeous. So from everything you see here, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of added ingredients that are things that I can't pronounce, like riboflavin, or that word.
It's not in there, so it's okay.
Say it.
I don't know what word it is, I forgot.
Try it. Nope. Try to say it.
I don't know.
Did you actually forget the word?
Yes, I actually forgot. Wait.
What's wrong with this one?
There's sugar in it.
So?
Why does meat have sugar in it? Why?
How much sugar's in it?
There's 0.5.
0 grams of
so
sugar.
that means there's 0.5 grams or less of sugar per serving.
Great.
I would highly recommend that you get Applegate Farms. That's what I would buy you if you let me buy you food.
Shut up. We have 100% whole grain wheat thins. So they're whole grain.
I remember when I used to eat these when I was younger with my sister. Danielle, do you remember that?
She's not watching.
We'd hide these under the bed because my mom wouldn't let us eat them.
I hid straight on full angel food cakes with icing. She
I
had
would do
boxes of wheat
Pop-Tarts.
thins.
Pop-Tarts too, the cinnamon ones. Whoa.
Who had a more privileged upbringing? Bing, bing.
Guess what? The first ingredient does say whole grain wheat flour.
That's great, right?
I mean, it's not great because...
You just said you wanted whole grain. Now you're saying
Well,
it's
no.
not great.
The thing with grains is there's a lot of studies that have been done, I'm gonna keep on freaking saying that have shown that grains are not that great for you. That being said, everyone is different. So if you feel good eating whole grains, eat them.
I feel nothing when I eat whole
I know,
grains.
he's so weird. He doesn't feel anything with anything.
If I ate, that's true. If I ate the healthiest diet for 2 weeks, and then you made me sustain myself on double quarter pounders with only ketchup and cheese supersized with a Coke, I would feel no better and no worse.
Which makes it
Truly.
really, really hard for me to try and encourage him to eat
But your dad's the
healthily.
same way.
That's true.
Let's break down the food label of this
Okay.
product. What I really like about this is how big this food label is.
That's the new food label. That's
Oh.
gonna be coming in by 2018.
Oh, and they're already all over it. Good for you, Nabisco. Powerhouses that own literally everything. Stop your monopoly, you horses' asses.
Or sponsor this video.
Or give us money and we'll love you. Let's talk about the ingredients. Is total fat saturated fat
Yes.
plus trans fat?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no
Plus,
trans fat.
There's 2 other fats. There's polyunsaturated and monounsaturated.
And both are
fats.
super terrible, right?
No, they're good for you.
Oh, both are super good. Eat plenty of them. Yum, 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 yum. There's dietary fiber. We didn't talk about dietary fiber.
So that's something I want to tell you. So with carbohydrates versus fiber, what you would do, and this was very popular to do when the Atkins diet was like a thing. So you take the 22 and you subtract 3. So the real carbohydrates that will be processed in your body are 22 minus 3, so 19. Because fiber is not digested, it is just excreted.
Poop.
Yes, if we want to get technical, by taking a shit.
By taking a feces. Could you eat something that is 100% fiber, or would it destroy your intestine?
Well, it depends on the person. For me, it would destroy me, and it has in the past.
What do you think it'd do for me?
It actually might make you very constipated initially. Once you drink a lot of water and push things through, you will have an epic Jurassic Park situation on your hands.
She's talking about the famous scene where she sticks her hand in the Triceratops' dung, and then Jeff Goldblum says,
That is one big pile of shit.
total sugars and added sugars.
Yes.
Now it says total sugars is 4 grams, includes 4 grams of added sugar.
So the new label includes 4 grams of added sugar. The old label does not say that.
Let's talk about the ingredients. Is there anything better as far as of flour than whole grain wheat flour?
The whole grain barley, whole grain oats.
So barley is better than wheat?
There's more vitamins and minerals in it.
But then they'd be barley thins, and that's a shitty product name. Canola oil. How do you
Nope.
feel? Cornstarch.
Now, oh, that's terrible too. It could be laced with GMOs.
GMOs. I love GMOs.
GMOs, you love the GMOs, and that is why cornstarch is not necessarily a good thing.
Malt
because
syrup.
That's sugar.
Yum. Refiner's syrup.
Sugar. Anything syrup in it, sugar. Now, canola oil is not the best for you, unfortunately, because, and I don't need to get really technical and you're not even paying attention to me, but the omega-3 versus omega-6 fatty acid ratio is not so good. You want as even keel as possible omega-3s to omega-6s, and the omega-6s are far more than the omega-3s in canola oil.
Boring. Now we're gonna go to something that I know that she'll absolutely effing hate. Double stuffed Oreos.
I knew these were coming!
I know what your very first initial thought is,
You're
and
not
that's that I
allowed to
can't
open
have
them.
any. Here's the reason that I got the double stuffed Oreos. They're effing delicious.
No, they're not, ew.
The very first ingredient is sugar. We know that's bad right off the effing bat. Second ingredient, unbleached enriched flour. We know that's super bad. Third, palm and canola oil. We know that's super bad. So far we're 4 ingredients in and we haven't found anything that's good for us. Fifth ingredient, cocoa.
Unsweetened cocoa is great for you.
But it's processed with alkali.
Garbage.
High fructose corn syrup, shit. What's your deal, Mondelez Corporation, dickheads? But thank God there's a saving grace and there's a leavening agent. Nope, shit. Salt, soy lecithin.
It's an additive.
We
Not
gotta-
great for you.
See how they taste.
I think we know how they taste.
I'll only eat one and then we can throw the package away. Unless you want to save them for your birthday. It's Genevieve's birthday.
Whoopee!
She's an old woman. This thing tastes like its first 6 ingredients are sugar and yes. There's no lukewarm hell, Genevieve.
I actually made a recipe on my blog for Oreos.
That's true.
And it was really good, and I have people who can vouch for that.
So thank you for joining Landon Licks Celebrities and Genevieve Eats Celebrities. Hopefully you learned something about food labels. I know I did.
Did you?
I know I might have. Tune back next week when we invite a celebrity over and I try to lick them and Genevieve tries to
Eat them. If you want my Oreo recipe, check out the video. I have a link for it below. And subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and we'll see you next time.
and subscribe to my channel.
Oh, yeah.
Ashworth Comedy, and watch Becoming Bond on Hulu.
That'll be very interesting to edit.